Okey, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sejahtera and good evening to everyone. Okay, so this is our third class and for business research method. So today we are continue last week topic still in chapter 1 in our thesis in chapter introduction. So we are continue for a specific topic on in chapter 1 research objective. Okay, we try to learn basic about objective and research objective. So from here, we can see that verb of research objective. We can see we have 4 layers. Layer number 1 for remembering, layer number 2 is understanding, layer number 3 is applying, the fourth layer is the analyzing, evaluating and creating. Okay, so we need to interpret this all 4 layer. Okay, so this image we call that Bloom taxonomy. Okay, maybe you can refer the latest one, maybe a little bit difference, just little bit difference. They have to upgrade their image, but the most important thing that we need to know that the layer have represents the low, moderate and high level in terms of research process, and then the way we make it, the design also, and then for analysis also. So we go to number 1. So number 1 is about remembering. Remembering. So it's common in research for your research objective. And let's say we write a words to. I think that to list is not familiar. To find, to name, somehow is not popular also. But this is a quite common. Identify. Okay. If you put your research objective, is it possible to write to identify as your research objective for your PhD and master? Okay, the answer is yes. You can put your objective is to identify. But for PhD student and master by research, you cannot put all your research objective is identify. Okay, let's say we try to make it little bit difference. Example, for quantitative research, and it's okay for primary or the history or secondary data. So we use to identify, meaning that if you are quantitative research, if you use identify, meaning that this objective no need hypothesis. And others meaning, we can say that no testing, no hypothesis testing. If you want to identify relationship, let's say you put your objective to identify relationship, it's wrong verb actually, because relationship, influence, effects is not identify, because identify no need hypothesis. If you want to measure relationship, influence and effects, meaning that this is hypothesis testing. You require to create hypothesis testing in order to make it a solution for your relationship, effects or influence. So how to know that in your research is suitable to identify? First, if this objective not required for hypothesis testing, meaning that no hypothesis. Basically, we can say that the identify is more suitable for descriptive analysis, such as mean values. Basically, we use a mean value to identify the level, to identify critical success factors, because we use mean value and we rank the mean values. So we can use that identify as the verbs in your research objective. Okay, but others, um, to locate, to describe, to memorize, to define, I think that is not popular. Basically, for our research objective, in this layer, remembering, we use identify. Okay, but you should be know that when in situation in your research, you use identify. Okay, so we go to the layer number 2 is understanding. Okay, the words of understanding is most suitable and synonym for qualitative research. Basically, for qualitative research, need and required, and to make sure that your topic and in your specific area, okay, should be to increase the level of understanding, deep understanding, rigorously understanding, and meaningful. Okay, so let's say we put some suggestion here to interpret, to summarize, to explain, to infer, to paraphrase, and to discuss. Here is quite more suitable for research is to explain. If you are using a qualitative research method, you can use the to explain. Okay, according in your study, in order to solve your problem statement, and you need to explain more deeper. Okay, you can use to explain. Okay, the second one for understanding, you can use to explain, but I highly recommend for qualitative research the use of to explain. Okay, we go to the third layer, applying. To use, to diagram, to make a chart, to draw, to apply, to solve, and to calculate. Okay, this one for social science research and business research method is look like it's not popular for applying. Okay, but you can use, but basically when we refer for senior thesis, very difficult to find that in social science and business research method use a term of use, diagram, make a chart, draw, apply, solve, and calculate. For let's say you are a background in mathematics, background in your engineering research, or in statisticals, maybe they use this verb. Okay, if we go to the upper layer, we have three actually: analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Okay, we go first for analyzing. For analyzing, we can look like first to categorize, to examine. So this one, I believe that many researcher, and especially for quantitative researcher, you can use the words, the verbs of examine or other similar or synonym. Examine, determine, okay, to compare, contrast, organize. So the favorite words in part of analyzing is examine. But in this part also, you can look like the point here, take info apart, explore relationship. So this word also include explore. So in qualitative, in this part of analyzing, you can use a word of to explore, which is to explore, compare with the understanding to explain. So to explore is more rigorous in qualitative research. Basically, if you use the explore, we are actually, most of researchers recommend use of the triangulation. Let's say you, in your research qualitative, you plan use two instruments. First instrument is interview. Second instrument is observation. Let's say you use two instruments in qualitative. First interview, second is observation. That we call that triangulation. Triangulation meaning that if you use more than one research instrument. In this case example, you use two, interview and explore and observation, that show that in your research apply for validity of triangulation. Okay, so you can use of to explore. And for quantitative research, this is a very important section. I believe that most of Here, if you are using a quantitative research, we use a words of examine and determine. In this part, we need hypothesis. Okay? Alright, itu the part of the analyzing. Okay, the next one is evaluating. So, critically examine, inform, make a judgment. Judge, testing, critique, defend, and criticize. And this stage also is not popular for social science research, plus also in business research method. Okay, but for example, you do some the experiment, lab experiment for the scientific research in the science field. Basically, they use a word to test, to test. Okay, so this one, the last one, okay, creating. Okay, use information to create something new. Okay, so this part also now we can call that the type of research is a fundamental of research. So if you are fundamental research, basically you have something tangibility in your research. For example, to design and to develop. So you can use another synonym, the same meaning actually. To build, to develop, to construct, to plan, to produce, to devise, to invent. And okay, boleh. And you can use this word. Basically, in research, they use a word to design. What else? To develop. Develop also in here section in creating. So you can use to develop. Let's say you want to develop model, you want to design, to apa? To develop construct. Say let's say, and so you make it invention and to invent. Okay, to plan also, to suggest also in creating. Okay. Okay. So what's the difference between these 4 layers? For PhD student, at least you need to have at least one research objective in the 4 layers. So either this part of analyzing, or evaluating, or creating. At least one. You can, let's say you have 4 objectives. Cannot be 4 objective is remembering. In the, for example, your 4 objective, first objective to identify, second to identify, third to identify, fourth to identify. It's not practically on the research, PhD and master. Okay, so at least one your objective. Let's say this is a minimum requirement. So let's say you have 3 objective identified, at least you have one objective to examine, for example, to explore. Okay, so we can use another words also. I think that you can use this word in the area, maybe in evaluating or analyzing. Another word is investigate. So investigate basically in under analyzing. So it's not just only analyzing, it's to examine. You can use to examine, determine, explore, investigate. Okay, somehow that some scholar mention that investigate under evaluating. Okay, but in here in our image right now, not mentioned about investigate. Okay, so this is just example and suggestion, and you can explore others verb also to identify. Okay, to determine. Number two and number 3 is quite same actually. Determine and examine. Basically, if you use determine and examine in quantitative research, you need hypothesis. Okay, to measure, to analyze. Okay, so I just to discuss with you. So somehow student, they use a words of to study. It's okay, you use a words verb study, but for us, let's say your supervisor and your assessor later on, quite difficult to align with the research method. If you use a verbs of to explore or to explain, at least we can predict this is a qualitative research. So you want to use the words of develops, validate, to design, then we know that you do something tangible. So this is the 4th layer in area of creating. Okay, so we can predict. what's the level, and what the research design and research method suitable for your research objective verbs. Okay, so basically somehow that in this is very basic, and for proposal, defense, and viva, some student still confusing in that in sorry to have the difficulty to make sure that which are more suitable in order to use identify or for example. Okay, so in today, okay, in our class business analysis method, I hope so everyone can clearly to know and have to know and can be justified in order to make it a communication with your supervisor why you choose a verbs identify, determine, analyze, investigate, develop, validate something. Okay, so you need to have some reason and argument in order to choose the best verb to represent on your research objective. Okay. Okay, so this is a research objective. Okay, this slide represent on the infographic in order to understand on the research objective. Okay, basically in our university, in UPSI, in our formatting, we have two type of research objective. And we have general objective and we have the specific objective. Okay, basically general objective, just one sentence, one general sentence. But research objective specifically in formatting, numbering. Research question number 1, research question number 2, research question number 3. Okay, you can use both. So in our OPSI format, you need to write both and general research objective and specific research objective in formatting, numbering. And again, and please remember that last week we are very focused and make it clear what's the meaning of research background and problem statement. Okay, that one thing that I'm keep repeat and keep highlight the same and again that how that a student and researcher to need to show and confirm that research background need to align with the research problem statement. Sorry, research background need to align with the problem statement because research background is a relevant issues. Without relevant issues, we cannot be right problem statement because problem is about research problem statement. Okay, came from the relevant issues. Without research background, we cannot write the problem statement. Okay, that's clear. Last week. Okay, this week's. So we need to develop and create a research objective. How to develop research objective? So we need a problem statement. Without problem statement, we cannot be proposed research objective. Why? Because problem statement is the research problem. Okay, and research objective is solution. So problem need a solution. That's why problem statement need objective. So that's why if you need objective, you need to show your research problem statement first. So here again and again, the words that stronger words, a strengthened word is alignment. So research objective need align with the problem statement because all objective solve all problem statement. No less, no more. Okay, ngam. And so you propose of research objective because you want to solve the problem statement. This my research objective number 1, solve. So let's say I have 4 problem statement. Let's say we try to align straightly one by one. Research objective number 1, try is a suitable. This is a suitable research objective in order to solve problem statement number 1. This is my second research objective, to solve second problem statement. This is my third research objective. This is the way that objective can be solved, problem statement number 3. And again, and the last one for research objective number 4, can solve last our problem statement. So very clear. You have only have 4 problem statement and you have 4 research objective, that this all research objective can solve all the problem statement. But it's not compulsory the numbers should be similar. It depends. Somehow you only have 4 objective, but the problem statement only 2. In order to solve these 2 problem statement, we need to propose 4 research objective. Objective number 1 and objective number 2, solve problem statement number 1. Objective number 3 and 4, solve the problem statement number 2. Can be like that. Okay. No need to plan. Everything is similar. Or if you have 4 objective, you need to have 4 problem statement. Okay. Not compulsory. It depend on situation, depend on case, depend on the setting of your problem and how to make it the solution. Some objective is quite bigger. For example, you use the words of to develop model. Okay. In order to propose objective to develop a model, maybe you need more than one problem. Okay. Or let's say you only have one problem. In order to solve the problem, we did have 2 or 3 research objectives. That's why I think that this quite flexible and subjectively. It depends on the case and the problem and then how to make a solution also. Okay. So please remember, so research background towards problem statement also need to alignment. So problem statement also need to align with the research background. So objective same also need to align with the problem statement. So after research objective, we need to propose research question and research hypothesis. Also need to align with the research question and research hypothesis also. Okay. So the next, accurate and organized. Okay, this is really important because research objective can be the most important statement that we need to bring for every single chapter. For example, if you want to write literature review, you need research objective. Without research objective, you cannot write research literature review. So you want to write research methodology. So no idea, still don't have the research objective, meaning that you cannot be write research methodology. And again, and the next one, for the research analysis also cannot be run, analyzed, because you don't have the research objective. So research objective is must. If you want to write in literature review, you need to have research objective first, because it can be assist and help research methodology in order to represent what the most suitable research activity in order to answer for each research objective. Okay, so that's why research objective need to very accurate and organized. Okay, research objective is sufficient. So I put here RO meaning that research objective. Research objective is sufficient and can solve all problem statement. Research objective arrangement, same as the problem statement arrangement. Literature review, methodology, analysis, and planning. That I highlighted before. So how research objective are most important to make sure that this research objective can be aligned with the problem statement, meaning that this objective can solve all the problem statement, and this research objective can be represent in the first in order to write the literature review. That important thing also in order to write the research methodology. That part we need to refer first in order to analyze. And again, for your chapter on your research finding, and then for the research conclusion also, we need to look your research objective. Okay. All right. So that we discussed before, previous slide, that how that in order to setting your research objective. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Right. So we continue for the verb that I'm explained the previous slide. So we need to know that which verb are most suitable represent our research objective in order to use identify and determine, examine, analyze, investigate, explore, explain, develop, validate. Okay, so we already discussed on that. So this one is really important because from this verb we can predict what are the research methodology and research analysis for your research. Okay, so that is very important thing to make sure that it should be aligned with the research method and research analyze. Okay, the last one is actually and again, so that I'm highlight. So hopefully that for PhD student and master student, it cannot be in the last layer, remembering. You just only use identify, cannot be. At least you have only one, at least you have minimum one in the higher layer, which is for analyzing, for evaluating, and the creating. So you can use to determine, examine, investigate, explore, okay, to develop, to validate in order to represent the higher layer of the Bloom taxonomy. Okay. Okay, please make sure your research objective is clear, precise, specific. Okay, so we very basically, when we look at research objective, also we can apply for the SMART. Okay, your objective should be specific, your objective should be measurable, your objective can specifically analyze. Okay, so realistic and timeliness also. Realistic because this is a problem, a suitable do a research. This research objective can be solved all the problem statement. Okay, that we can know that what the theory are more suitable, what the variables and construct are suitable, what the research design, research activity, research analyze, and we expect that research finding can be received from this specific research objective. Okay. Okay, this general template. Okay, so I plan for the next weeks. Okay, so for the next week, maybe we conduct a same day in Thursday also next week. So we will discuss more detail and specifically according your assignment. So because today I think that we have 2 or 3 new students start to join our class. So please take note. Next week we go to discuss specifically on your assignment. For everyone here, need to complete all the assignment. If you not complete the assignment, we cannot give pass in this subject. So you need to repeat this subject for next semester. So the most important thing, submission. It's not based on the perfectionist. It's not just superb. You just send by progress. Okay, I know that. So many here is actually still in semester 1. You just register PhD and master, meaning that semester 1. So I cannot make bigger expectation or higher expectation. So that's why I use the words progress. It's based on your research progress, your thesis progress. Submit based on your progress. Okay, never mind. Next week we can go through more specifically. Okay, according your assignment. Okay, this assignment can help you also in order to prepare and completing your proposal before go to the proposal defense. And in this semester or maybe next semester. Okay, so this is about timeline. I hope so that all of you can can join for proposal defense since your semester 2. Okay, since your semester 2 and semester 3, especially for the full time. Don't make too long to prepare your proposal defense. So if you want to graduate on time, okay, go to structure your progress and your thesis plan. Please target, and you need to proposal defense in the early semester 2 until the 3rd semester. Okay, so hopefully you can collect the data since semester 3 and the last part is semester 4. But I highly recommend you can start to data collation since the semester 3. Okay. So this is an example of research objective. Okay. So I'm sorry because this research objective little bit typo here and bahasa Melayu. So this just example. I'm use words of mengenal pasti. In English we use identify. The second one is menghuraikan, explain. Number third, menyiasat, investigate. The last part, fourth objective is to develop and validate, membangunkan dan mengesahkan. Okay, this is example. Just this is a very general. So this is a general template, but we have specific template, more detect and align, and we call that alignment and balancing template. Okay. So we go to the second one, the pair. This is a very good pair. If you have research objective, so straight away, you need to have research question also. Okay. So this is infographic in order to introduce what's of meaning on the research question. Same like research objective. So depends on university, specifically in UPSI. So we need research question. Okay. Every research objective need research question. So hopefully everyone should be complete here. So please check. Please make sure that your research objective have research question. So let's say the panel can give some question for you. Okay, Fazli, can you show me where your research question for your research objective number 1? So the supervisor and the evaluator can check one by one. So this is your research objective. So where your research question? So make sure align. Every research objective have also represent our research question also. Okay, or this is research question align with research objective. All research question represent from research objective. Okay, either way. The most important is alignment. Okay, the difference between research objective and research question is according the question mark and statement. Okay, research objective is just statement. No need to question mark. But research question is the question sentence. A question sentence, and you need to include question mark in the end of your sentence. Okay. Number three is about numbers. Okay, sorry, that the word is Malay. Accurate and numbers. Ketetapan dan bilangan tu adalah accurate and numbers. So every research objective must have research question. Number of research questions does not have to be only one, can be more than one. Okay, I give the example. Okay, it's not the example lah. Try to interpret more. It's not directly and similarly. Okay, if you have one research objective, you can propose one research question, or you can propose more one research question. They say, I have one research objective, but from this one research objective can propose more than one research question. They say, I have two research questions. Okay, no problem. So you can propose 3 research questions, also okay. Right? All right. Not all research questions need hypothesis. So another things lah. After research question, the next one, the next section is a research hypothesis that we need to align also. But not all research question need research hypothesis. For example, qualitative research, not necessary to have the hypothesis. Yes, if you read the books, qualitative research, you can find that in qualitative, actually, they are actually generate the hypothesis. But here, the discussion on chapter 1 is not about the generating hypothesis, it's about the hypothesis testing. So hypothesis testing is basically more suitable for quantitative research. But not all research questions are need for research hypothesis. For example, identify. Let's say your objective identify. So your research question is what's the level? For example, to identify research question, what's the levels? So in this research question, no need hypothesis. Okay, let's say your research question is determine or examine, then you need to have the hypothesis. But for Not all, for example, that what's the level and according to objective to identify, no need hypothesis. Okay, and again, I'm sorry, in Malay words, it's about the verbs objective. So we already know that basically if in a research objective, we use identify, determine, explore, explain, develop, and validate. So in words of the research question also can be represent what's the most suitable methodology and analysis. For example, you can use the same word. For example, let's say the research objective to develop. And then for research question, how to develop. No problem. You can use the same verb objective and verb research question, the same word. No problem. For example, kan, you want to investigate indirect effect. You put words to investigate indirect effects between A, B, and C. So how to use the research question? Okay, you can use words does to assess, and sorry, not to assess, because we need to use the word what, where, when, and why, how, what. Let's say you use word of what. What's the effects? What's the indirect effect between? Okay, so that's why. So we can use the same words also. Okay, all right. So hopefully you need to know that which are most suitable words, and in order to represent research question, either you want to use what. Okay, basically in quantitative we already discussed last week. So in quantitative you use actually what, when, who. Okay, but for qualitative you can use what also, no problem. But the most important thing, this is very clear, most of the research qualitative use why and how. So this is a general template for research question. Okay, so I'm sorry because in Bahasa Melayu, so it's about number one is about to identify factors, and to identify factors. So in a research question, what's the level of factors? What's the level of factors? Number two is about mengapakah manfaat pembelajaran secara bertutur. In English we call that why. And why the benefits about structured learnings. So number three is about what's the effects, direct effect. What's the direct effects? Number four is what is indirect effects. And bahasa Melayu, apakah terdapat kesan langsung? Adakah terdapat kesan tidak langsung untuk research objective number 4? Number 5 and number 6 is about develop system and validate system. So your research question is how to develop the system, how to validate the system. Okay. All right. So this is a research hypothesis. Okay, very clear. Research background and research problem statement need to be aligned. Problem statement and research objective should be aligned also. Research objective need to have research question and align. Research question, okay, not all, but research question can also align with the research hypothesis. But here we are right on the hypothesis statement because we need to test. So most suitable for quantitative research because this one is a hypothesis testing. So this is about testing. Okay, not all research objective research question need hypothesis. Okay, one test to decide it. So you need to know that if you have hypothesis, you need to answer is accepted or rejected. So you need to answer from your finding. So this is actually the hypothesis is accepted or rejected. So that this is a very standard and common in order to explain, in order to answer your hypothesis, you need to use a word accepted or rejected. Again, so research question and research hypothesis or research objective need to be aligned. Okay, and again, the same like research objective, research hypothesis also can bring for your literature review because we can make an outline. you need to discuss more specifically on the previous research according to research hypothesis. Okay, for quantitative research, you need to have one specific section in your literature review. We call that hypothesis development. So we have one section, let's say 2.8, hypothesis development. So every single research hypothesis, we need to represent on your literature review, meaning that from your hypothesis is based on your literature review. You cannot be propose the hypothesis without support from literature review. So that's why we have the specific section on the hypothesis development. So in this section, you need to write to more and more paragraph according to empirical study and from the previous study to support and in order to propose your hypothesis, specific hypothesis statement. Okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry. All right. So the third one is about category. So we have hypothesis category and hypothesis, open hypothesis and closed hypothesis. Okay. Basically, from your literature review, because you have already find that support from literature review, not only one, maybe more than one. So this is, we call that, is quite, this is not, we call that a new phenomenon, and we already know that phenomenon. So also support from the more and more previous literature. So we can call that closed hypothesis. Okay, because this already have support and this is not new. Okay, but maybe it's not all hypothesis. Maybe you have one hypothesis in very less discussion in literature review. Not many previous, not very difficult to find the literature support your potential hypothesis. Okay, so because this is quite new, this is a quite new topic, so not many study before, and not found, very difficult to find that empirical support, that we call that the open hypothesis. Hypothesis meaning that very no and lack literature support. Okay, so hypothesis, in order to write in your thesis, somehow need to be consistent. The most important is consistent. Cannot be in this section you use hypothesis null. In this section you use the hypothesis alternative, or you use both. In your statement, you have both hypothesis null and hypothesis alternative. Okay, but another section you just use hypothesis alternative. Okay, it's not recommend. In your thesis should be consistent. If you use one single hypothesis, you can use single hypothesis. If you have double and good pair on your hypothesis, which is you have both hypothesis null and hypothesis alternative, somehow we call that hypothesis research. You can use that, but please consistent. Okay. Next, the ones basically in your literature review, in this section of hypothesis development is the last section. And the last section, same like research gap and research framework. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. That's really important. Your hypothesis. Okay. That can represent what's the research methodology and research analysis. And so this is what, that's why in maybe the following week we can discuss on literature review. So in your literature review section that I'm explained before, we have specific section on the hypothesis development. If you are qualitative research, we have specific literature review to write on the previous studies. Somehow we call that empirical research. on discuss with the similar objective. Okay, so in this area for literature review, it's not just only to discuss on the research finding, but need to discuss according to the research methodology. For example, according to Fazli study on direct effect between A and B, their study in Malaysia, they use on the research onion for your research design, the population 1,000. So you need to describe on the methodology research activity also in your literature review. So very clear. So very clear as a researcher, in order to write literature review, you need to discuss on the research activity. So that's why in this section of hypothesis development, from your discussion on the research activity or this research methodologies activities can be predictive what's most suitable for your research protocol and research procedure in your thesis. Okay, so that's why research hypothesis is most important. Okay, for quantitative research, basically, so you need to represent on your research hypothesis. But for qualitative research, basically we use for research question. If you are from scientific research, we represent our research objective. Okay, I repeat, basically in the social science research and business research method, if you are quantitative research, we are represent on our research hypothesis. Okay, but not all. Maybe you have one or two, your research question cannot be represent on hypothesis, but you need to answer your research question. But for qualitative research, basically all research question need to be answered. No need, no need to propose your research hypothesis. If you use only mono method qualitative. But if you are study on the mixed method, maybe you need to have both and section for or specifically research objective research question for qualitative, and maybe you have one or two for work and research objective for quantitative and more suitable for the quantitative research. Okay, sorry, I mute. Okay, so I need to repeat again. Okay, and kau berapa tadi yang termute Oh, seminit just 1 minute. So in this slide, okay. So this slide represent the alignment. This slide represent the alignment between research background, problem statement, research objective, research question, and hypothesis. Okay. So last week we have discussed these two, research background and problem statement, but today we have covered on research objective, research question, hypothesis. This is your draft. Okay. You need to make it a point on your all research issue, list suggestion. That let's say I'm right. I found that 12 issues, relevant issues, according to this research. Then I come up and propose 3 problem statements. From these 3 problem statements, in order to solve these 3 problem statements, I need to propose 6 research objectives. Okay, from this research objective, in order to align for research question, I need to propose 8 research questions. In order to solve this 8 research question, I need to propose 12 research hypotheses. So this is your first draft idea. So that our responsibility right now, we need to check. We need to check alignment and balancing between this research background, problem statement, objective question, hypothesis. So we go to the next slide. Okay, so this is an example. You can check one by one. So research issues number 1 align with problem statement number 1. Okay, so number 1 research background 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 research issue is actually relate on the problem statement number 1. Because of these 5 issues, we can propose problem statement number 1. Without issues number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we cannot be proposed problem statement number 1. Okay. According to issues number 6, 7, 8, 9, we can propose problem statement number 2. And issues number 10, 11, and 12, we can propose problem statement number 3. Okay. So you have already write. Maybe you write 3 paragraph. Problem statement, 1 paragraph. Problem statement number 2, 2nd paragraph. Problem statement number 3, 3 paragraph. At least you write 1 paragraph to explain about your problem statement. So you need to sure that all these 3 problem statements need to be solved. How to be solved? In order to solve, you need to propose research objective. Okay, you propose research objective number 1. Okay, it's not complete. If we just only have 1 research objective, we cannot be solved problem statement number 1. So that's why we need to propose second one for research objective. So now it's okay, because these 2 research objective can be solved your problem statement number 1. And again, we go to the problem statement number 2, same. We need to propose 2 research objective. And then for the problem statement number 3, also we need to have 2 research objective. As total, we propose 6 research objectives. Okay, not necessary, yeah. So in this, just example. If you, in your case, maybe 1 problem statement and 1 research objective, no problem. But you can also propose more than 1 research objective. If in case same like me, so we need to have another research objective to become complete in order to solve your problem statement. Okay, clear? So your objective, you have 6. So you need to propose, because every single objective need research questions. Okay, research objective 1, 1 research question. Research objective number 2, we have 1 research question. Objective number 3, we have 1 research question. Objective number 4, 1 research question. Objective number 5, we need to have 2 research question. Objective number 6, you need to have 2 research question. Okay, from here we can see now, from research question are possible to propose research hypothesis. But clear, according your research, research question number 1, 2, 3, 4 represent also for objective number 1, 2, 3, 4. Objective number 1, 2, 3, 4 and research question 1, 2, 3, 4 not necessarily have hypothesis. In this case, we very clear, maybe their objective is identify or qualitative research, because research question number 1, 2, 3, 4 have 2 possibility. Maybe this is identify or this is qualitative research. No need to have the hypothesis. But research objective number 5 and research objective number 6, this is a quantitative research. and to investigate direct effect and indirect effects. So that's why we need to have more and more hypotheses. In order to solve research question number 5, we need to propose 3 hypotheses. Research question number 6 also need to have 3 hypotheses. Number 7 also 3. Number 8 also 3. As a total 12 research hypotheses in order to solve 4 research question. Because in this research question, first 4 research question no need hypothesis, and the last 4 research question need to have research hypothesis, sorry. So one research question here need to propose 3 hypotheses. So as a total 12 hypotheses. So we can check now everything is aligned and balancing. That we need to check your thesis. This is example because I just put a point here. But the most important here, I need to show you that how really important alignment. All the issues need to be have support and proof based on your problem statement. Because without research background, you cannot be right and develop your problem statement. All problem statement need to be solved. All. But that's why please careful. Whatever you write in problem statement, you need to check. Every single sentence need to be solved. Can be solved by true or research objective. So all research objective can be represent on research question and research hypothesis also. Okay, this is example that how the student to need to check your thesis in order to alignment. So this is template for your assignment also. Okay, next week we discuss more detail. Okay, if you don't like use the arrows, you don't like use the arrow, you can use a color for like this one. But this is an example, but I try to make it some issue here. So if you can see the color here, you can see problematic. I just give one case problematic. So in here, you have one different color. So we have a brown color here, and then we have the light green here. So if something problematic happened with the problem statement number 4 and research objective number 7 and research question number 9. Okay, we need to check because it's not alignment. So we need to check. Okay, so very clear, and I just make it summarize. So we have 5th research issues number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is aligned with problem statement number 1. Research issue number 6 to 9 aligned with problem statement number 2. And research issue number 10 to 12 aligned with problem statement number 3. But the problem here, according to research issue number 13, 14, and 15. So it's very difficult to align because in order we try to propose problem statement number 4, it's not aligned actually. It's not aligned. So that's why the color is different. So cannot be aligned because these issues and problem is not aligned and it's not support. Something different. Your problem statement different, your issues is not related in your problem statement, something like that. Okay, and then from your problem statement also is not aligned with your research objective. Yes, your research objective is actually aligned with research question, but not important anymore because if you still continue your research objective research question, but this objective cannot be solved your problem statement. Why you need to propose research objective if this research objective is not aligned and cannot be solved your problem statement? The problem statement here is not important now because this problem statement is not came from research issues. So you need to delete. Here, you need to delete. So you need to delete research question number 13, 14, 15, your problem statement number 4, and research objective number 7, and research question number 9 because it's not aligned. So after you delete, now you can check everything is clear. Everything is support and aligned. So to double confirm, you can use both. You can use color and arrow. So I'm use both. I use color and arrow also. So I double check and confirm that all the research background, problem statement, objective, research question, hypothesis is aligned. Okay. Okay, this is some, I'm again, I'm sorry, because it's example in Bahasa Melayu. So that's just to look like, so this is just a point, this look like a sentence. So in your assignment, you need to write like this one. So to show that what is your research background, So I need to check your research background should be aligned with your problem statement aligned with research objective aligned with research question, and research question aligned with your research hypothesis. So this is really important. So in order to discuss with your supervisor, need to show with your supervisor, this is your idea from chapter 1, because chapter 1, this is a part that really important. If you are not aligned about this matter, during proposal defense or viva, we can say that you can get major correction. If your problem and objective is not aligned, a major correction. Okay, please make sure this fifth section and should be aligned. Okay. Okay. Now we can go to the example. Okay. Before we go to the example, I need to request a break, 5 minute break. Okay. I need to suggest 5 minute break. So we continue after that. So okay, 9:21, so 9:26. Okay, 9:26 we continue for, because I want to show something from the thesis in order to increase our understanding. Okay, thank you very much. We continue 9:26. Okay, we are continue. Okay, so now for these sections, I try to show you that some example from cases in order to understand about our research backgrounds and problem statements and objective and research question to make it alignment and balancing. So we have done some theories and in the some concept in order to understand all about research backgrounds, problem statement, objective, question, hypothesis. So this is in this section, you need to apply and to understand in the real setting in research thesis in order to align according to this specific section. Okay, let's go. This thesis is from my friends actually, from Professor Elita Amrena. So the topic is about the sustainable manufacturing performance evaluation tool for automotive companies. Okay, they are study from University Technology Malaysia. Okay, so before we go to their research background and problem statement, okay, we need to clear for their research objective and research question. In this case, they are proposed two research objective and two research question. Okay, before we go to the we call that interpretations from this year thesis. Okay, we need to little bit discuss on situation in UPSI, specifically in our Faculty of Management and Economics. So I cannot say wrong or it's not recommend. Okay, in myself also, and during my PhD, I just only have two research objective. Okay, but in this matter, you need to discuss with your supervisor that your supervisor agree and support in order to propose only two research objective. In my case, don't have problem. We can only have two research objective or three research objective. So far, it's very difficult to found only one research objective and one research question. At least I can say that the minimum numbers for research objective and research question is two. But in order to use only two objective and two research question, you need to discuss with your supervisor to make it confirm and green light that your supervisor accepted or they suggest to add one and two more your objective and research question. But I just show in the first thesis as an example, we need to study in this research only have two objective and two research question. Okay, their objective is to develop a set of the sustainable manufacturing performance measures, and second one is to develop an evaluation tools of sustainable manufacturing performance for automotive company. So according these two objectives, they come up with the two research question. What are the sustainable manufacturing performance measures that can be applied for automotive company? And second one, how are the automotive companies evaluating the sustainable manufacturing performance? Okay, so this is really important. According this objective, we need to check and align with the research background and problem statement. So first, develop the set sustainable manufacturing measures. And second one, develop an evaluation tools. Okay, now we go the research background. Okay, so in research background, they have 1, 2, 3 paragraph, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As total from their thesis, they have 8 paragraph to represent research background. Okay, so we check one by one. We need go to the one by one paragraph. Okay, so I'm sorry. So this slide cover in both bahasa Melayu, bahasa Malaysia, and English. But for the explanation, I'm use the English. And okay, from this first paragraph. Okay, You're right, sustainability has become an increasingly important issue among industry worldwide. Okay, they start with the first sentence in their research background to discuss in generally how this topic are become important in the industry in the worldwide. Okay, you should be right like this one. Okay, in the first paragraph in your research background, you should be right on the worldwide view first. Okay, but you already put the main topic because this topic is sustainability. The first words in your research background already highlight on the sustainability because in research background you should be is relevant issues. Okay, straightforward. No need to wait until next 2, 3, 4 paragraph. Then suddenly you are mentioned about your important words or important variable and construct. In the first line in your research background, so the reader, the supervisor, and assessor should be know that this is my topic, sustainability. Okay. All right. So the first sentence, sustainability has become an increasingly important issue among industry worldwide. Many companies are directing their resources to minimize the environmental impact of the product and operations. So in the second line, they have already mentioned the benefit for companies. And in order to directing on the resources to minimize impact, specifically on the environmental impact. Okay. So there is growing awareness among manufacturing company of need to consider the triple bottom line. Sustainability consists economic, social, environmental performance. Okay, in the first paragraph, very clear. So in their study, they are focused on the three bottom line: economic, social, environmental. That's why I mentioned that research background, it should be related practical issues. Okay, that from first paragraph, we already know that, oh, this is the issues. From here, you want to study about sustainability. So this is a become of the worldwide issues. And their gift right now go to the environmental impact. And then when we talk about the sustainability, we cannot be run away. We should be follow the triple bottom line: economic, social, environmental. The last sentence is developing sustainable approach. Manufacturing company has become a critical global concern. Clear in first paragraph to something they try to discuss the issue. This is a global issues on the sustainability, specifically on the environmental. And when we discuss the sustainability, we cannot be run away on the triple bottom line: social, economic, environmental. So this is the first paragraph. Okay. Okay, we go to the second paragraph. Okay, companies today are facing the challenge not only manufacturers of quality product, but also an environmental. So this topic, if you notice, so there every single paragraph they have represent the words of environmental. Okay, so manufacturing companies strive achieve sustainability through change the product, process, and system. Okay, the implementation of sustainable manufacturing offer cost-effective road to improve economic, environmental, and social performance of the three pillars sustainability. It has been reported that those companies adopt sustainable practices are able to achieve better product quality, higher market share, and increased profit. Sustainable manufacturing practice have also been seen to positively associate with the competitive outcome. So here, if you are notice their topic is about the sustainable performance. In second paragraph, they highlight that how that this sustainability can give the impact on the performance companies or performance in the organization of the industry itself. So that's they treat this paragraph to highlight that how that the companies and sustainability can give the effect and impact towards on the performance. They are not mentioned about the performance, but very clear you can get the item here. For example, and that relate on the triple pillars of sustainability in terms of the better product qualities, high market share, increased profit. So this is a performance item. So this is a performance item. They are not mentioned about the words of the performance. So this paragraph already mentioned of the specific item on the performance. Okay, the third paragraph in recent years. So the highlight, that's why I mentioned that in your research background should be represent on the current issues only. Okay, manufacturing company have to adopt a various strategy to minimize the impact the operation product on natural environment. Okay, again, so this paragraph, the words of environmental still maintain. They should control the environmental impact of the manufacturing activity in global in order. Okay, first thing first, they are mentioned of the very quite general what's the become the performance impact, but this paragraph to highlight on the impact on the performance, specifically on the environmental impact. Okay, therefore, the last few years, a growing range manufacturing company have include of environmental principle in operation. Okay, if you go to the second and third paragraph, first paragraph, we go to the worldwide. The second and third paragraph, we go to the manufacturing. But their study is automotive. Their study in automotive. Why they are study about the manufacturing in the second and third paragraph? Yes, if you are if you know that automotive under manufacturing, under umbrella manufacturing. So automotive is under umbrella manufacturing. So we start to what we call that, start with the bigger view, start for the worldwide, and then the narrow for the manufacturing. Okay, the fourth paragraph for manufacturing companies has to emerge as new competitive requirement and mean to achieve different in market. Okay, in addition, safety concern regard the important order to winning factors, increase concern safety drive to regulation, public interest, competitive opportunity, force manufacturing company inevitable consider safety into their strategy activity. So do you want to highlight that right now, recently in organization, okay, in the manufacturing company, we are already need to face on the sustainability, okay, in the real life, in realistic. So we need to have the sustainability as become one of the competitive requirement to be a very competitive advantage. So this is part, we can say that we can conclude that this paragraph, sustainability is must for the manufacturing company. So this is the way that we cannot be run away. This is the right way in order to we are compete with the others company. Okay, so this has become one of the competitive advantage values to the all the manufacturing company in order to apply and implement on the sustainability manufacturing. Okay. Okay, next, fifth paragraph, in response to growing sustainability concern, manufacturing company have to formulate measure to evaluate sustainable manufacturing performance. So now, so they come up with the most specific sentence, we call that sustainable manufacturing performance. In the fifth paragraph, akhirnya dia akan keluar dia punya specific topic, we call that sustainable manufacturing performance. Okay, so in generally, sustainable evaluated in the dimension. So now they highlight the dimension environmental, social, economy, while manufacturing dimension. So in dia nak beritahu kat sini what they try to be highlight. So if we not discuss about sustainability, if we are not discuss on sustainability in manufacturing industry, also already have their dimension on environmental, operation safety, and personal health. So they have others quality, cost, delivery, and feasibility. So when we looking this performance measurement and manufacturing is look like is matched with the sustainability to represent from these three bottom line: environmental, economic, and social. So it's not something new to the manufacturing and difficulties to the manufacturing in order to implement and apply for the sustainable manufacturing performance, because in manufacturing is already this term of performance already in the real case on the environmental and industry. Okay, the sixth paragraph, although there are support from literature review, they mentioned about very few studies have actually integrate sustainability into manufacturing performance. I'm not agree with this green statement. Okay, because this is a research background. You cannot be mentioned about a very few study because the statement of research gap is not suitable in the research background. You should be right in your research problem statement. Okay, but never mind. Okay, supply chain management, they highlight the morals, lean manufacturing, green design. So this is a construct. Basically, when we are studying about the sustainability manufacturing performance, what should be construct should be in your study. This is based on the previous study lah. Ada yang gunakan product development, supply chain, lean manufacturing, green design, manufacturing, supply evaluation, and selection. So continue. So other study also combine for traditionals, okay, quality, cost, deliveries. So they have specifically by Rusinko proposed total 24 measure environmental sustainable fashion practice. So other study also represent, okay, 6 factor for divide 32 dimension to measure sustainable. So we have a few couples study to highlight the item for the sustainable fashion performance. However, there is no single set standard measure to evaluate sustainable management performance. That's another issue. That is the second issue. So I not agree with the green one because they highlight the research gap. Very few integrate sustainability into management performance. So this second one. However, there is no single set of standard measure to evaluate the sustainable performance. For me, it look like it's not suitable here in the research background. In case here, I'm suggest that you should be cut paste this green box to your problem segment. It's not in this research background section. Okay, so this is 7 paragraph. The second last, sustainability has certain become of the critical issues for automotive industry. The automotive industry has made to remarkable positive contribution to the world economy and people mobility, but it's a product and process to significant source environmental impact. Okay, automotive so in this, okay, sorry, I'm late to justify this paragraph. So lastly, in 7 paragraph, they are mentioned about automotive. This is second last. Then the highlight for automotive. So second, third, fourth, 5, 6, you just mentioned about manufacturing. Okay, but the last one, the second last paragraph in paragraph 7, already mentioned about the automotive sustainability in the automotive industry. So they give them some reason why nowadays automotive very serious and positively in order to implement on the sustainability. So can we conclude that so automotive industry play important role for economic, environmental, and social development in the context of sustainability. Thus, there is a need evaluation sustainable management performance in this industry. Okay, all right. Okay, so they make it end their paragraph by highlight that how that this sustainable performance measurement is important in and for automotive industries. Okay. Okay, sorry. I think that it should be it's because I put 6A, 6B. So that's why as a total it should be in 8 paragraph. It's not 7 paragraph. Okay. Problem statement. Okay, in this case, when we look their problem statement, you notice that no citation. No citation. Okay. But you need to consult and discuss with supervisor. I believe that not all supervisor agree if your problem statement only 1 page. In this case, only 1 page. Okay. In this case, in UPSI and our faculty, I think that not many lecturer agree if you can write only 1 page and only 3 paragraph in your problem statement. But I confirm that according the numbers of page, research background should be more rather than problem statement. If you can write this example, you have 8 paragraph for research background and 3 paragraph on problem statement. Okay, no problem. Okay, lebih kurang 3 kali ganda lah. 3 time more compared with the research background. Okay. Okay, so in this case, just 8 paragraph, I noticed around 4 lah. 4 page for research background and 1 page for the problem statement. According to 8 paragraph for research background, 3 paragraph for the problem statement. So in this case, we need to just investigate from their problem statement writing. We can find that no citation at all. Just write in 1 page and 3rd paragraph only. So we go through 1 paragraph to another paragraph. Okay, so the paragraph number 1, they write the automotive company are under intense pressures to reduce environmental impact on their product and operations. Okay, if you I just to little bit interpret from their study. So basically in automotive companies, it's quite common to discuss about the social and economics. Previously, very many research before studies and testing about how that automotive industry will be effects towards performance according to economic and social performance. They have couple and many research before, but still limited study in automotive industries specifically study on environmental impacts. But Environmental now is more realistic, and we can call that a critical concerns on the environmentals. Okay, so that the part, the first sentence that I mentioned. Okay, for sustainability, it should be achieved balance among triple bottom line according to economic development, environmental protection, and social equity. Okay, it's a big challenge for automotive company to give serious attention on sustainability. Okay, so in this first paragraph, they make it opening paragraph. We can call that this opening paragraph, but very strengthened paragraph to more specifically, more focusedly. So this topic is about the sustainability. So based at sustainability, we confirm and rigid only from the triple bottom line only. In this case, in this study, only use triple bottom line, which is environmental, social, and economic. Okay, so this is seriously, critically for automotive industry right now. So that they are trying to, what we call that, reconfirm us, and according why they choose this topic, why this topic so very, very important. Okay. A second paragraph, although sustainability issue has been widely growing and for many years, only few study. Okay, this paragraph try to highlight research gap. So they highlight for many years, only few study first, only few study have been incorporate social corporate sustainability into manufacturing performance. There is yet to be a standard set. There's no standard at all before this. So we need to have the standard set of sustainable manufacturing performance measure. Although some study have investigate sustainable manufacturing performance, only few have integrate. So in this, in other words, a second thing, second gap is only few have integrate. Triple bottom line in sustainability consists environmental, social, economic. Maybe we have a few and couple of study in this topic before, but maybe they are singles and not consisting integrate all these three per bottom line in together in one research model, for example. But for sustainability, that must be balanced among those three dimensions. So they highlight if you are use term and verb, action word on the sustainability by hook by crook, you cannot be by single. You need to implement together. Ketiga-tiga triple bottom line should be in one study. So that the second paragraph, this is we call that the problem statement. The way they are right is more problem statement type on the research gap. So problem statement jenis research gap dekat sini. Kan? So ni what the style writing in the second paragraph? I can say that this style writing on the problem statement according to research gap, and the researcher try to show what is the research gap in their problem statement. Okay. Okay, the last paragraph. Okay, they make it a very strengthened conclusion. Okay, hence we believe that they are need to evaluate. They are making a conclusion. They need to evaluate sustainable managing performance automotive company, which is this is their objective number one, and need to evaluate sustainable managing performance automotive company. This is a statement directly aligned with their research objective number one. Okay, the focus of the research is to develop an evaluation tools to assess sustainable managing performance. So this is a second research objective, and which hopefully help them to improve their sustainability management performance so as to become more competitive. Okay, so this is my comment. Something we call that one comment. I'm quite agree for research objective number one, because you want to evaluate the sustainable management performance. We can see that from research background they have come up with the issues. So why you need to study in your research, because you have the research gap. But I think that's the limited explanation about the evaluation tools. So from the research background, I don't think that we can see the direct issues on the evaluation tools. And then for the research gap also cannot be sound like try to be highlight. We have the problem, then the problem need the tools. So not something like it's not directly argument that why we need the tools. So number one, okay, why we need to mentioning performance measures? Yes, very clear. So we have the research gap, but why we need a tool? So I think that from this thesis that they can be little bit improve the problem statement writing and issues, So that's why we can agree, and we understand how that this research must need to develop the tool also. Okay, yes, we get some good explanation in order to develop the sustainable venture performance measures, but at the same time you need to be clarify and give some issue and the problem also why we need this research need to evaluate a tool also. Okay. Okay, that's the first thesis. Okay, we go to the thesis number 2. Okay, so number 2, I try to make it short. So this study from Nur Haryati Ismail. So the topic is about the an analysis of staff perception of their preparedness for implementation of active learning in Malaysian engineering education exploratory approach. Okay, so here we have 6 research objectives. Okay, so this is really important. I hope so, everyone. If you want to study how to write your problem statement, research objective, you need to read more and more theses, and you can check from the previous thesis how they are write their problem statement and research background. So this slide, I try to show you that how that you need to know the skill and technique in order to write the research background and problem statement. Okay, so they have 6 research objectives to analyze staff perception with regard to AL stand for active learning implementation. Number 2, investigate factors that influence staff preparedness in active learning's implementation. Number 3 is to analyze staff development requirement in introduction active learning in engineering education. Number 4 is to analyze the influence of organizational leadership towards staff preparedness and active learning implementations. Number 5, to analyze the influence institutional culture toward the staff preparedness active learning implementations. Investigate the challenge faced by staff with regard the AL implementation. Okay, so first thing first. Okay, we can see from their objective is not consistent. So already in the above, they already mentioned the aim of the research to investigate higher education staff preparedness with regard introduce active learning AL. So they have the short form AL. But in their objective, yes, objective number 1, 2, and 3, they use AL. But in objective D and E, they use the long word active learning. So this we call that is not consistent. So they need to make a correction. So D and E should be not active learning. You should be write AL only. AL implementation. That's become consistently. Okay. So in terms of verb objective, they use analyze 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 analyze verbs. 1 and 2 investigate. So in this case, they have 2 verb objective in investigate. They have 4 verb objective on the analysis. So 4 analysis and 2 investigate. Okay, so I make it different box color here to check from this objective number 1 from the what colors here? Purple color, to analyze staff perception with regard to AL, active learning implementation, according which paragraph in their problem statement. So we need to check. So objective nombor 1 ni mana problem statement dia? We need to align. Okay. So we go to number 1 to analyze staff perception, and we need to check. We need to mention again to analyze staff perception with regard AL implementation. So this is their problem statement. I need to calculate how many paragraph. Okay, first paragraph, second, third, fourth. So they have only 4 paragraph. So they have the but long paragraph. They have 4 paragraph for their problem statement. Okay, the first paragraph is become opening. So the green, not the green one, the red one, the box red colors. So this first paragraph we call that opening on the problem statement. So the use of active learning has been accepted more than 30 years since the introduction of problem-based learning in medical curriculum. Okay, so that has they explain a little bit here. Using problem and drive the factor learning process, student work alongside group member. Okay, others approach which are based upon the concept active learning, such as including based learning, project-based learning, collaborative learning. CDIO. Okay, this is my personal argument. For me, this first paragraph is not important, but it's become more common So something like we as the supervisor and assessor, we just know that, oh, this one just opening paragraph. Just okay because we just something like we make it a flexible lah. Okay. So this first paragraph is look like opening. But honestly, I'm not agree because you try to write history right now. So it's something like if you try to write history, it sound like issues. It's not more suitable for the problem statement. And this is my personal comment. I'm not agree to explain what the active learning, when they start. So it's not suitable to mention this sentence in the problem statement. In my personal argument, is not agree. Okay, but in the common way, somehow that we give some flexibility because this paragraph in the first paragraph on the problem statement, we can call that this is a opening of the problem statement paragraph. Okay. Okay, we go to the second paragraph. Okay, second paragraph. Okay, we start. Although these different approach are implemented in higher education worldwide, adapting new approach for institution curriculum is not easy. Okay, that's the first words we can look like to represent why this sentence right in a problem statement, because it's not easy. That's good words lah. Okay. As academic staff identify as important stakeholders, atau academic staff are identified as important stakeholders who play significant role in successful implementation. They must be able to understand what is expected. Here clear, jelas kat sini They must be able understand what is expected. So is expected here can be represent synonym word for words of the perception. Expected perceptions. Okay. So research objective number 1 align with the second paragraph in the first sentence and second sentence in the second paragraph. Okay. So in other words, okay, we look for the second objective. Investigate factors. Investigate factors that influence staff preparedness. Investigate factors that influence staff preparedness. So here is in this sentence, the second paragraph also. In other words, to change. That's why, sorry. In other words, the change to encourage AL approach must start with the full understanding on the part of academic staff. They are to work with the AL effectively. So this one, okay, because they are put word change to encourage an approach must be start to full to understanding. So this is our research objective number 2. And investigate factor that influence staff preparedness in implementation. Okay, so objective number 2 to analyze staff development requirement introduce and analyze staff development requirement. So introduce AL. So this third objective align with this second paragraph in the last sentence. Okay, hence it's necessary to ensure that staff are well equipped. Well equipped with different kind of knowledge and skill from those need to traditional approach. So yang ni nak katakan ensure that the staff are well equipped with the different kind of knowledge and skill. So ni represent objective nombor 2. To analyze ni nampak. To analyze staff development requirement. Nanti dapat skill tadi tu. Ni to analyze staff development requirement. So this ni represent ni keyword ni. And nak tahu staff are well equipped with different kind of knowledge and skill. So to represent on your research objective number 3. Okay, next. Saya sambung lagi lah with regard and presentation based pada experience juga. It's not just on knowledge and skill but based pada experience. Okay. Alright, we go to the blue one. A problem highlight to Muhammad 2012 is not getting the commitment from staff who are comfortable with the traditional approach hindering the implementation of various attempt to promote innovative AL approach. So yang blue ni sama dengan research objective nombor 4 tu. Analyze the influence organization leadership towards staff preparedness strategy. Okay, influence organization leadership. Okay, influence of organization leadership. So here kat blue ni nampak ni, it's not getting the commitment. So commitment is the words to represent on the leadership. Okay. So number yang this one pink, in addition, insufficient training on the knowledge and skill require a successful AL implementation, identified as one of the main consideration that can jeopardize proper AL implementation. The issue is insufficiently long time frame allowed to change to take place also need to be considered. The change cannot be carried out. Okay, so yang warna pink ni align with the research question number 5. Sorry, research objective number 5. Number 5 research objective. To analyze the influence institutional. Here keyword is institutional culture. Institutional culture toward preparedness. And institutional culture toward the staff preparedness. So this one represent this one. Okay. That's why the word kan dia nak mention about this. Yeah. Of insufficient long time frame allow to change. Dia nak tukar ni. Institutional nak berubah kepada perubahan. And to allow for the change to take place also need to be considered. The change cannot be carried out instantaneously. So that's part to represent our research objective number 5. Finally, Hanafi assert that lack of proper equipment relevant to teaching learning process is one of the challenge. Kat sini lack proper equipment relevant to teaching and learning process is one of the challenge that weakens the staff commitment, integrate technical and employability skill among students. So, yang ni represent keyword dia yang nombor last tu. To investigate the challenge. Nampak tu? To investigate the challenge faced by staff. Okay, now investigate the challenge tu, ni problem statement tu represent the last one tu. Nampak tu? Lack of proper equipment relevant teaching and learning process is one of the challenge. Okay, that's why I share this slide, because I just to investigate from this thesis why and how and why they are right, their problem statement like this one. So when I check through the paragraph and through sentence and sentence in their in specific paragraph, I can check the alignment between. So the last one, the green part to mention about the challenge is aligned with the last research objective, our 6th research objective. Okay. So, nampak very what we call that, how that they make it alignment between problem statement and research objective. Okay. Okay. So, this another example from Muhammad Tahir Zainuddin. So, they from Newcastle University Business School. So, all these theses, that's why I'm ready to share with you the slide and then the video how to get the full thesis from worldwide. So this thesis is framed from the number 1 I mentioned from the slide, from ethos. From ethos, I already found that this thesis from Muhammad Tahir bin Zainuddin. Okay, the topic is about the structure question model. Okay, consumer intention to consume functional food in an application yogurt and margarine in the UK. Okay, so here we have more specifically in 3 objectives. So check. Yes, 3 objectives. To examine consumer attitude toward functional food, focus on yogurt and life culture and cholesterol over margarine. The model determining consumer consumption functional food and the factor underpinning the acceptance and rejection of functional food. Analyze for the current level consumer orientation. This will extend existing model for consumer food choice. To offer insight for practitioner for devising marketing strategy, how should functional food to be communicated and marketed to the consumer. For functional food, thus creating opportunity to broaden this market internationally. Okay, so for the objective number 1, for the blue box, and to examine consumer attitude functional food to represent on the second. So this one, they put here motivation and rationale of research. In our case, in UPSI, we call that problem statement. So this is an international format, little bit different with the UPSI and FPA format. But clear in this 1.3 is our problem statement. So the first and second paragraph to represent on our research objective. Number 1, to examine consumer attitude. So we can see that we start the limited knowledge regarding consumer and functional food. This include their view, comprehension, motivation, inspiration. So, okay, they are mentioned about decide which type functional food to be consumed. What are the various motivation? Okay, we go to second paragraph. From academic perspective, according to CLEF, there were limited number of consumer research in contact functional food in the market. In particular, whether the combination had a benefit claim out that purchase behavior intention. While from the practical point of view, consumer may not have the perception. This one like the keyword of the behavior and perception represent on the consumer attitude. Okay, the number 1, to model the determinants of consumer consumption of functional food and therefore underpinning accepted. So this one, second one, the model, the determinant of consumer consumption. So this is from the pink one. Okay. In exploring consumer insight, understanding consumer behavior, there are several number of suitable model. So they are mentioned. That's why this is nak tengok several number of suitable model tu memang align with our second creative lah. The model of the model, the determinant of consumer consumption. So this one sesuai dengan the pink one lah. So they are mentioned about TBB and theory of self-efficiency from Madura, the head belief model for HPM. Okay. So the third one is the offer the insight from practitioner for device marketing strategy. Okay, practitioner for devising marketing strategy. So from this one, HBM is suitable employed to study consume behavior toward the consumption food. This is in line with functional food to reduce the risk getting disease or condition illness associated with the severity. Individual susceptibility and disease. Since existing market, since existing marketing effort like in giving focus aspect, therefore study and provide this insight based on the factor highlight HPM. So yang green ni sesuai untuk yang nombor 3 ni lah. Okay, untuk device marketing strategy. So dia mention keyword kata market dekat situ. Sorry. So here dia put a mention about since the existing marketing efforts market. Okay, so the green one to represent on the research objective number 3. So the last one is closing lah. So they mentioned a key justification of research question and we conclude. Okay, blah 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 blah. So I read the last sentence. Therefore, one of the gap identified is that previous research is consumer behavior as not addressed issue consumer behavior intention to purchase, particularly to compare on different type of functional food. While there are some study of consumer uptake to functional food, several lack appropriate theoretical framework. So that's thing lah. Kenapa dia nak buat SCM kan untuk topik consumption of functional food. Okay, I think that's my focus today. Okay, so I'm planned for next week to discuss two things for the next week. It's about significance of study and limitation of study. So next week we have two things we need to discuss. First, we need to complete for the chapter 1 to study about the significance of the study. So this is the theory why we need to write expected, or we can call that significance of the study in the fourth area. So significance of study we have theoretically, methodologically, empirically, and practically. So we have the 4 areas to represent on the significance of the study. So significance of the study part of the theoretically, significance of the study on the methodologically, significance of study on empirically, and significance of study on practically. Okay, so this significance of the study or significance of research. Okay, the next one is about research limitation also. So we have in limitation, we have 2 theoretical limitation and methodological analysis limitation. So this one also we have some example from the previous study. So and some of the template also, template of significance of the study and limitation of study. So I plan for next week, maybe I'm cover around 30 minutes to 45 minutes to explain about significance of the study and limitation of the study. And then we are continue for regarding on your assignment. So we need to discuss your assignment plus on the significance of studies and limitation of the study. Okay, before we end our class tonight, so if you have any question, please, I open to everyone. If you have any questions, our discussion today, especially on the topic alignment between research background, problem statement. We actually, last week, we have covered more and more about this, but today we are more to cover on the how and what is research objective, research question and hypothesis, and alignment between these 5: research background, problem statement, objective, question, hypothesis, plus I try to show you with 3 or 4 example thesis in order to increase understanding how to write research background, problem statement, objective, question, and hypothesis. So I open if you have any question. Any question so far? Okay, it's not just during our class. If you have anything you want to ask about this subject, business research method, you can ask during our group WhatsApp. And so we have officially group WhatsApp. If you have any question, don't ask me personally. Don't WhatsApp me personally. You can ask through the WhatsApp group. Okay. Assignment actually is depends on your language writing. If you have already discussed with your supervisor, that your supervisor agree write in Bahasa Melayu, so from your assignment you can write in Bahasa Melayu, no problem. Okay, is depend on your agreement with your supervisor. If your supervisor agree, so you can write your PhD or your master in Bahasa Melayu, so you can complete this assignment also in Bahasa Melayu. So it's not difference. Okay, whatever we do in assignment is same like your thesis. Cannot be do a different thing. Whatever the assignment and your thesis actually same. Don't make it different topic. Whatever the topic, the assignment is similar in your thesis topic. Okay. Aida, I'm not sure what's your question. Please send the numbers. So I think everyone in the WhatsApp group. So my number also there, your friend also there, their phone numbers. So I'm not sure what's meaning your question on according to please send the number. Okay. You are not in the WhatsApp group? You are not in WhatsApp group, what? Aida. Oh no. So if I think you're not registered in this subject. If you are registered in this subject from your portal, so in the portal I already addressed the WhatsApp group link. So if you have registered, you can open your portal. So from your portal, you can go to the WhatsApp. So sorry, go to the information. I already give the link information to all the student. Okay, okay. Never mind. If you don't already in our group WhatsApp, I give my number. So please WhatsApp me directly. I give the link. Okay. But the most important thing, everyone need to register first. If you are joining this class, but you not register, for sure you are not pass. Okay. In order to pass this subject, it's compulsory. You need to register through the IPS, not through me. So you need to call. You need to go to the IPS or something. Call or email to the IPS to make sure that you are officially registered. Okay. Okay, if you don't have specific question on our topic right now in chapter 1, I think that we can close and end our section. So by next week, so we have two things to need to discuss. First, we need to continue to explain about significance of study and limitation of studies. And then we need to discuss more specifically about your assignment. Okay. So next week I plan the same day and same time also on Thursday 8 p.m. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera.